Welcome back to the news at 10. The ADP governorship candidate Moshood Adeoti is continuing with his campaign around Osun State to get the support of more voters ahead of Saturday's election. At a rally in Osogbo, the state capital, the governorship aspirant promised better welfare for workers, specifically payment of salaries.
It's 5 days to the Osun State governorship election, and the Action Democratic Party is making last-minute efforts to woo voters for the party's candidate, Mr. Moshood Adeoti. Freedom Park in Osogbo, the state capital, is the venue for today's rally, one of the last in a series of similar outings. Party leaders take turns to address the crowd, giving reasons why they should vote for ADP come September 22nd.
ADP! ADP! N10!
Speaking in Yoruba, the man of the moment believes enough ground has been covered in past rallies and urges voters to take note of the party's name and logo in order to cast their votes correctly on the D-Day.
You won't see my name on the ballot paper. You will only see our party's logo. The logo is 8th on the first column to the left. That is where you should thumbprint. When our party comes into power, by God's grace, we will prioritize workers' welfare and pay their full salaries because a workman deserves his wages. On salary arrears, we will press the federal government to pay funds owed the state. And with that, I will clear all arrears.
Come Saturday, the ADP candidates will be up against 47 other candidates in an election which is expected to be keenly contested.
A former Jigawa state governor and presidential aspirant under the umbrella of the People's Democratic Party, Sule Lamido, says lack of law and order is responsible for insecurity in the country. He was speaking to journalists after a meeting with members of the Southern and Middle Belt Leaders Forum in Abuja. According to Mr. Lamido, there's no equity and justice in the country, which has led to some Nigerians feeling a lack of sense of belonging.
The tradition by which government is being run, the culture of governance and government, that aspect of what you call justice, which should be the anchor of government, is not in Nigeria anymore. And that's why all these flash areas, the Boko Haram, the kidnapping, the killings in Taraba, in Adamawa, in Zamfara, in Sokoto, all over Nigeria, is because this country is not being run under law and order. There's not justice in Nigeria. Therefore, Nigerians feel that this country is not there anymore.
Let's take a look at some business news now. Here's Anne Waudu.
You First. First Bank.
Thanks a lot, Ijam. I will begin business news tonight with the Central Bank of Nigeria saying that it will impose a fine of 10,000 naira on banks and other financial service providers for any failed electronic payment transaction not reversed into the customer's account within 24 hours. The order, which is to take effect from October the 2nd, is contained in a circular on the regulation on instant interbank electronic fund transfer services in Nigeria. It was signed by CBN's Director of Banking and Payment System, Dipo Fatogun. The CBN warns that delayed application of onward instant payment into beneficiaries' accounts beyond 4 minutes will attract a penalty fee of 10,000 naira for each transaction. Nigeria's acting Minister of Finance, Mrs. Zainab Ahmed, has resumed office. She's promised to attain the federal government's vision of economic transformation. She's optimistic that the days ahead will see policies that will boost growth in the socio-economic sector and increase revenue generation. The Intercontinental Exchange for Financial and Commodity Markets has launched its first set of derivatives based on Nigerian crude as an alternative to the dominant global benchmark Brent crude. Traders will be able to use the ICE platform for derivatives contract linked to Nigeria's 4 largest crude oil grades, and that's Bonny Light, Forcados, Kwa Ibo, and Bonga. The contract is expected to make Nigerian crude a standardized commodity. The Intercontinental Exchange operates 23 regulated exchanges and marketplaces globally. Egyptian police have detained 2 sons of former President Hosni Mubarak over charges of stock market manipulation. Allah and Gamal Mubarak, who were arrested on Saturday, are accused of violating stock market and central bank rules to make unlawful profits through dealing in shares of Al Watani Bank of Egypt. Some current and former board members of an Egyptian investment bank have also been arrested. Allah and Gamal Mubarak will be standing trial in court over insider trading charges on October the 20th. The Food and Beverage Recycling Alliance has called for more awareness on the need for separation and recycling of waste. The body, which promises 5 food and beverage companies, is also seeking reorientation towards a world without waste.
Every September 15 is World Cleanup Day, and as part of this year's commemoration, the FBRA decides to create an awareness on the reason for a clean environment, with this outing not only to clean the arena market at Oshodi, but also sensitize marketers. FBRA, the Food and Beverage Recycling Alliance, is a body comprising of 5 companies: the Coca-Cola Company Nigeria, Nigeria Bottling Company Limited, 7-Up Bottling Company, Nestle Nigeria PLC, and Nigeria Breweries PLC.
The key message is that we can have a world without waste. So that is really, so when I ask people, can you believe that we can have a world without waste? And the answer is yes, because we have given that commitment. So we want to ensure that if waste do not end up where they're not supposed to end up, we'll have cleaner oceans, we'll have a cleaner environment, and we can have a better and healthy free environment for all of us to live in.
The group sets out to clean the market, and in between distributes the flyers bearing their mind on the need for a clean environment.
We want a cleaner environment, not to make it look as if we are producing products that houses this secondary packaging material such as PET, nylons, and litter the whole environment. So it's a payback or take back to the community.
All these companies that came here together, it's not just because they are mandated, it's because they have the passion. And I am one of them. I'm passionate about our environment for the future of my children and the next generation.
The Lagos State government is happy to be in this partnership, which it hopes will help achieve the ongoing Cleaner Lagos initiative.
The environment can only absorb little. If you continue to pollute the environment, it's going to have its consequences on us, and that is why they have so many alliances here. The beverage companies are taking responsibility, and we have a lot of people that have small recycle silos that are also coming up, cleaning the environment, sensitizing people, telling them that there is value chain.
But cleaning continues with plans to replicate this gesture in other parts of the state.
Last-minute profit taken by investors have pushed the key indicators at the local equities market to a negative start this week. For more, let's join Tosin Adeshina.
Hello and welcome to the Stock Market Report. The third trading week of September at the Nigerian Stock Exchange begins with downbeat performance across all the major indicators following renewed profit-taking by short-term investors. The all-share index dropped by 0.39%, inching lower towards the 31,000 level, while the total value of listed equities dropped by 46 billion to 11.756 trillion naira. Performance on the price chart also ended negative by a margin of 23 losers, led by 10% drop from champion breweries against 18 gainers, led by CNI Leasing. Meanwhile, total volume of shares traded for the day stands at 160 million units from 2,935 transactions, with the shares of Axis Bank, GT Bank and Sky Bank as top 3 contributors. That was the stock market report. I'm Tosin Additional.
Thank you, Tosin. As for major world markets, they have also ended the session broadly lower as U.S. and China trade dispute takes center stage amid fresh tariff threats. Let's see the closing figures for today. That's business news for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Anne Nwawadu. Back to you, Ijema.
You first. First Bank.
Thanks a lot, Anne. Still ahead on the news at 10, Europe's biggest club competition, the UEFA Champions League, returns as the group phase of the 2018-2019 season kicks off tomorrow. That's on Sports. Please stay with us.